Returning to the squash blossom necklace, I'd like you to see another one. This is located in the Heard Museum, which is a pretty famous Native American institution. It was done in the first half of the 20th century, and it is a Zuni creation that illustrates the flexibility, the openness to new artistic ideas, the playfulness, and the creativity overall of Native American jewelry makers, because it follows the squash blossom formula, but what it does is introduce into the floral areas a fetish. And you can see a little froggy located in each one of these. In this case, I would like to strongly suggest that those originated with a pomegranate design. And if we go up here, this is a pomegranate hanging, I think, on a tree. And these are the portions that extend. This is the fruit. This is an extension around the fruit, and I think you can see those located here. So I think maybe in this case we can say, well, this was really derived from a pomegranate. But the pomegranate itself has been replaced with something that is totally basic to the Four Corners region and to native culture. For one thing, it is replaced with turquoise. So we have an image here that is definitely from the Southwest. We know that there is a long respect for turquoise going all the way back to the early civilizations, ancestral Pueblo, Hohokam as well. Turquoise was considered to be sacred. Now, part of the reason for that is it's rare and it's expensive, at least certainly in the beginning. It comes from Mother Earth. It is a mineral, so that's one of its associations. But the color of this is blue, and blue references the sky. The sky is the place where the rains come, and also, obviously, blue references water. So it is believed to carry associations of life-giving waters. Oftentimes, turquoise is specifically selected because it has webbing and it kind of black lines that run through it. And while Western audiences might not be used to this idea, to Native Americans, that webbing suggests strength. It references the webs of spiders, which are so resilient to disturbance. So what we're doing here is bringing a number of ideas together into a single design, beginning with squash blossom, but turning it into something that is even more, I'm going to say, Native American in nature. Okay, so why frogs? Well, frogs, as well as turtles, but particularly we're talking about frogs here right now, are associated with rain. They are also associated, because they're associated with rain, with abundance and with fertility. Those of you who spend any time in nature will know that the frogs sing also in the spring, so that they bring a voice to nature also. And it's almost like they announce the beginning of the springtime and of the growing season. They are creatures that spend a great deal of time in the water. Like a dragonfly, they also go through a kind of metamorphosis, but it's their association with water that makes them so significant in terms of ideas of abundance, fertility, and also rain. So these are turquoise fetishes that have been embedded in a form that probably originated as a pomegranate and became a part of the traditional Navajo squash blossom necklace. So, what is a fetish? A fetish is a charm, a talisman, something that carries protective power associated with it. A true fetish is going to be one of these creations that has been blessed by a shaman or a priest. Many fetishes are available for sale today. I have two in the lower right corner, for example. These are froggies that I picked to match our squash blossom necklace. These put up on the open market are not true fetishes because they have not been blessed, but they can be sold to the public and have actually become very, very popular with the American audience. The interest in the part of selling these, creating these for sale outside of the Pueblo environment, and these are primarily associated with the Zuni, by the way. Beginning in the 1880s, the railroad is going to reach through at least close to the Pueblo region. That's going to encourage trade and the sale of Native American objects to, in particular, to the East, where there was a great interest in them. And there was a very strong interest in what was referred to as charm stones, fetishes, things that were believed to bring power, to bring protection, and to bring good luck. And it is believed that the stones that were found by Native Americans that naturally, without being carved, that naturally looked like a certain kind of animal would have had the greatest amount of power. Stones next that were slightly carved to form an animal would be next in line to having inherent power. The images that we're looking at in the lower corner, these are really, really cool. These are definitely carved for the tourist market because they have a great degree of naturalism that is associated with them, and that makes them appealing to, I'm going to say, outsiders. Let me explain the story to you that I think will help to make sense of this. This is one of the Zuni creation stories. Creation stories explain why things are the way they are. And according to this story, the world was once covered with water. It was very swampy and very wet. Sun Father, who is worshipped by the Zuni as a kind of life-giving force associated with light, he creates two sons, and these two sons, who were twins, which is also an important part of the story, they recognized that the world was too wet, and it was their job to find a way to make this place more habitable. The Sun Father gave them a magic shield, a bow, which is also referenced as the rainbow, and arrows. And the arrows were referenced as lightning. Their job was to use these in order to create fire, to find a way to dry the earth. They succeed in doing that, but they end up with a problem. The world was very open space, and consequently it was dangerous for humans because there were animals that wanted to capture the humans and actually eat them for their food. So what the twins decide to do is to strike these animals with lightning, and that turns them into stone. But inside the stone animals, there still lived the knowledge and the life in their hearts that their real duty was to help and to protect people. So, if you are lucky enough to find a naturally formed stone looking like an animal, it's considered to be and one of the examples of one of these early animals that was hit by lightning and turned into a stone. The beliefs continue today, and fetishes continue to be used and to be worn. So primarily there is the belief that these are associated with protection and with the strength of the animal that is being depicted or interpreted in the fetish. In order to add to the power of the animal, you can also attach a bundle, and that's what's on our froggy over here. This is a turquoise arrow, and I think another turquoise stone that's been attached as well. You don't always need that, but it adds to the power of your fetish. What do we do with a fetish? Well, you might wear your fetish. Back in the day, you might carry it in a pouch. Today, you might keep your fetish in the glove compartment of your car, or you might have it on the bookcase right next to your desk, or sometimes you keep it next to your bed. If it's a fetish for your clan, a group within the family, essentially, then you might keep it in a pot, like in one of those water jars, just for example. And you would leave offerings for your fetish. You're going to feed your fetish because you want to keep the fetish satisfied that you are respecting it. The very best offering that I can tell you to feed your fetish would be cornmeal that has crushed turquoise in it. And this practice continues today to have I'm going to say, a reciprocal relationship with the fetish, with the animal spirit residing inside the stone. These are additional fetishes to take a look at as I just add a couple more things. One, I did want you to know that the new museum in Washington, D.C. for the Native American population and history and art, of course, there I understand that they do provide offerings to the fetishes in the museum, and I do understand that it is cornmeal. At least that is what I have read. The museum curators are partly responsible for doing. In other words, maintaining and continuing the traditions. So, how do we use these fetishes then? We have them. Well, we can count on them to help us often in curing, getting better if we have something wrong with us. They can also give us the ability, if we're hunters, to catch game. But mostly for us today, I think they would be seen as protection. And I'm going to say abundance associated with that. And the idea of wealth that comes from abundance. The fetishes also represent a fundamental Native American belief that everything has a spirit and connects us through Mother Nature. It was also believed, and still is, I think, that animals are much closer to the spirits than human beings are, and that animals have more power than human beings are. So naturally, we want to turn to the animals and seek protection and perhaps guidance in our lives. I have four more to kind of close out with as we can look at them. The black and white is one from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It's 19th century, probably maybe 20th, but I'm thinking 19th. And it's one of these stone fetishes that appears to me to be naturally formed. In other words, someone found this and went, yes, this has incredible power because it's one of those stones that was turned, one of the animals that was turned to stone by the hero twins, essentially, who were part of the creation story, who changes the predatory animals into helper animals in the form of stone. The one in the upper left is a bear, and if you look at the lines running on the bear, those are breath lines or heart lines also, which indicates the life, the breath, the power of the bear. In the lower left, we have a mountain lion. The mountain lion was strongly associated with hunting. So if you're a hunter, this might be a fetish, or if you're seeking something, perhaps this might be the fetish that you would use. As you can see, not all of these have, I'm going to call them power bundles, additional bundles tied to them to strengthen them. The bear does not, but the others that we have on the screen do. The one that is in the lower right is simply to give you a little bit of a sense of the scale of these. That is, my hand, I'm holding a fetish. It gives you a little bit of a sense that these are, they vary in size, definitely, particularly when you deal with the tourist market, because some tourists like larger ones. But initially, these would have been small. They would have been very portable. You could hold them in your hand. You could wear them. You could attach them to a necklace, for example, or you could carry them in a pouch. So they were literally very small in scale, but at the same time, very large in power, and representing a tie we have to the world of animals and to the world of nature.